All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are going to demystify one of the most fundamental concepts in business, marketing. We're going to build a foundational toolkit, and trust me, it's going to completely change the way you look at every single product, price tag, and ad you see out there.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out what marketing really is. Then, we'll get our hands dirty and add the 4 essential tools to our kit: product, price, place, and promotion. And stick around, because at the end, we'll see why sometimes you need a few extra specialized tools for the job.
Okay, first things first. What is marketing really all about? Let's get past the flashy ads and the sales pitches for a second. You know, when you hear the word marketing, your brain probably jumps straight to a Super Bowl commercial or maybe a salesperson trying to sell you a car. And yeah, you're not wrong, but that's only a tiny piece of the puzzle. It's kind of like saying a carpenter's only tool is a hammer. The real work, the smart work of marketing, actually starts way before a product ever hits a shelf.
See, at its very core, marketing isn't just a department in a company. It's a whole philosophy. It's a way of thinking that puts the customer right at the center of the universe. The true goal isn't just to make a sale. It's to understand a customer's needs so well and to satisfy them so perfectly that you create genuine value and hopefully a happy, loyal customer.
Okay, so if marketing is the big idea, the philosophy, how do you actually do it? Well, that's where the marketing mix comes in. This is it. This is the marketer's toolkit we've been talking about. It's a set of powerful, strategic tools that a company can control and blend together to get the right response from the people they're trying to reach. And the core of this toolkit, you've probably heard of it, the 4 Ps.
So let's crack open this toolkit. The very first tool, the one that everything else is built on, is the product. This is the heart of the value you're promising to deliver.
Now, when we say product, it's not always something you can physically hold. Of course, you have your tangible goods, things you can touch and see, like a textbook or your computer, but there are also intangible goods, which have no physical form at all. Think about software, or the great customer experience you had at a cafe, or even the service of teaching. Those are all products too.
And marketers get even more specific. They classify products based on how we, the consumers, actually shop for them. Think about it. You might grab a bottle of water, a convenience product, without even thinking. But for a new TV, a shopping product, you're probably going to spend a weekend doing research. Then there are specialty products, like a specific designer handbag that you'd make a special trip for. And finally, you've got unsought goods, stuff you don't think about buying until you absolutely have to.
And here is a super important takeaway. The product isn't just what's inside the box. No way. It's the whole shebang. The brand name that makes you feel confident. The packaging that catches your eye on a crowded shelf. The label that gives you all the info you need. All of those things are a strategic part of the product itself. Okay, so you've nailed your product. What's next? Well, you grab the next tool in the kit to answer the million-dollar question. What is this thing worth? And that, of course, brings us to the second P. Price.
Now, when a company launches something new, they often have 2 very different ways to go. They could try market skimming. This is when you start with a really high price to capture all the people who have to have it first. You know, the early adopters. Think about new smartphones. The other route is penetration pricing. Here, you do the exact opposite. You launch with a super low price to get as many people as possible to try it, hoping to build a big customer base fast.
The third tool in our kit is place. And this one might sound simple, but honestly, it's one of the most complex and critical parts of marketing. Place is all about distribution. It's the answer to the question, how does your product travel from the factory all the way into a customer's hands? Generally speaking, there are 2 main highways for this. There's a direct channel, which is exactly what it sounds like. The company that makes the thing sells it straight to you. Think of buying a t-shirt directly from a band's website. But more often, you see an indirect channel, which uses intermediaries or middlemen to get the product to you. Let's follow a product on a typical journey. So the manufacturer makes 1 million candy bars. They can't sell them one by one, so they sell huge quantities to a wholesaler. The wholesaler then breaks down that massive order and sells smaller cases to your local grocery store, the retailer. This whole chain makes it possible for you, the consumer, to just walk in and buy one. Pretty cool, right? But every step adds its own cost and complexity.
And now we've arrived at the P that everybody thinks of first, promotion. You've got your product, your price, and a place to sell it. Promotion is how you shout about it from the rooftops. It's how you communicate all that value and convince people to give it a try. It's how you tell your story.
And just like marketing has a mix, promotion has its own little toolkit too. It's called the promotional mix. This is the specific recipe of communication tools a business cooks up to create buzz and ultimately increase demand for whatever it is they're selling.
This is where a marketer's creativity really comes into play. You don't just use one tool, you blend them into a campaign. For example, you might run a big advertising blitz on social media to let people know you exist. At the same time, you could offer a sales promotion, like a buy one get one free deal to get people to act now. And maybe you use public relations to get a positive review on a popular blog. It's all about using the right tool for the right job.
So we have our 4 Ps: product, price, place, promotion. We're all set, right? Well, what happens when the thing you're selling isn't a thing at all? What if you're marketing an experience, like a hotel stay, or a service, like financial advice? It turns out our classic toolkit needs a couple of upgrades.
Yeah, because you can't touch or see a service before you buy it. Marketing one is a whole different ballgame. It brings up these unique challenges. That's why for services, the model expands from the 4 Ps to the 7 Ps. Don't worry, the original 4 is still there, but we add 3 new Ps that are absolutely crucial for getting it right.
So what are these extra tools? Well, first up is people. In a service, the person delivering it is a huge part of the product. Think about a friendly, helpful barista versus a grumpy one. It changes everything. Next is process. This is all about how the service is delivered. Is it easy and seamless, or is it a clunky, frustrating nightmare? And finally, physical evidence. Since you can't see the service itself, you look for clues in the environment. Is the lawyer's office professional and clean? Is the airline's website easy to use? That's all physical evidence.
And these extra Ps matter so much because services are just different. They're intangible. You can't touch them, which is why you need good physical evidence. They're inseparable. The service is created and consumed at the same time, which is why the people involved are so critical. And they are perishable. You can't sell yesterday's empty airplane seat today, which is why the booking process has to be absolutely seamless.
And that really brings us back to the main point here. Whether we're talking about 4 Ps or 7 Ps, tangible goods or intangible services, it all comes back to this amazing idea from the marketing legend Philip Kotler. Marketing is a value exchange. Companies create value for customers, build strong relationships, and in return, they get to capture value back. It's a beautiful cycle.
So, I'll leave you with this. We've just built a pretty powerful marketing toolkit. But in today's world of social media, AI, and just endless choice, I want you to think about something. Which one of these Ps, product, price, place, or promotion, do you think has become the most powerful of them all? It's something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.